pushes way up the racetrack, and now here comes Janzik. Janzik goes by Query, and he goes by Inman. Burnell gets a great run, another 3 wide for the race lead. It's going to drag race off of turn 4. Shepard is there, but it's Larry White at the line. Still going to be Pat Ward, and they make contact. Britton has broken the race car. AJ Slideways. Alan Johnson wins.
Whether you hug the infield tires or rip the cushion, you found the fastest dirt track podcast in motorsports. Welcome to Where Legends Are Made, the official podcast of Land of Legends Raceway. Here's Stephen and Brad Ovens.
Hey fans, welcome into another episode of Where Legends Are Made, the official podcast of Land of Legends Raceway. Your track announcer, Steve Ovens, here with you, and I've got another driver request interview for you on this episode. There's been a lot of buzz. A lot of people have been talking about this guy with plans to start the season out here at Land of Legends Raceway. That is the driver out of St. Catharines, Ontario, Matt Williamson. Matt, welcome in. Appreciate the time. I know we're starting to really get cranked up here racing-wise. Maybe not this coming weekend, but I know racing's getting ready to crank up, and I know your guys' time's valuable and appreciate it as always.
Yeah, no problem. Obviously, thanks for having me on. That's, first and foremost, I like what you guys are doing, and it brings a pretty big hype for all the fans to get into the year. So it's not many racetracks, go above and beyond like Canandaigua does for hyping up the season, and it's pretty cool to join you on the show.
Well, let's talk about, what was one of the big stories of the off season. There was a lot of buzz on, Matt Williamson's coming to Land of Legends to race on Saturday nights. And, I read the article that they, and I apologize to who wrote it, cause I don't recall now, but, whoever wrote it did a great job. They asked, a lot of great questions, and it seemed to me there was two big points that I took away from that. One was, Canandaigua was a target for you guys just from a distance perspective, distance from home. But the other perspective that I was intrigued by was it seemed like this was also kind of an analytical decision of let's evaluate our performance on the series and let's see if we can check a box of a place where, we haven't necessarily run bad at, but it's one of those places where we have some room for improvement when it comes to those big series shows. And it felt like that was also kind of part of this reason. And I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah. Of course, Canandaigua, as much as we've raced there, I've never won there. So, obviously, we'd like to check that off the list and, pick up our first win at Canandaigua, and hopefully, almost like getting the monkey off your back. Hopefully the rest will kind of fall into place, but it's a tough place. It's going to be tough to win one race, let alone multiple this year. So we're not counting on winning races. I think that we've certainly got our work cut out ahead of us, and we're going to have to work really hard. But we lined ourselves up to have a pretty good big block program. We have in the past. Doug Holmes at Finger Lakes has always built our big block motors, and we've had good motors. We went down the road and won big events with them, and I just felt like we needed to have more. We needed to have a spare motor in case we get into a points championship race, and we want to take it to the next level. So we lined our big block program up pretty good this year, and I got to thank Wayne Kahn at S&W Service Center for that, and obviously my dad, and them two guys went out and got us another motor, and we got one from Chuck Cece. So we've got some good equipment that we're going to bring to the table, and hopefully we can compete for a championship and some future wins.
I know you've raced there in the past. What was any of those the past years? Were any of those full seasons? And if so, how long ago was that?
Yeah, I think I want to say 2017. I raced Canandaigua every week. It was when we were racing Lernerville still on Friday nights. And we decided to do the Super Dirt Series on our own. So that year we had two big block cars. We didn't have any small block cars. And we went big block racing. So we weren't to the caliber that we're at now. I think we we would be around a 7th to 10th place car then, and I think maybe we finished 6th or 7th in points, but it was a fun year, coming down there and racing with Justin, and at the time Matt was racing there every week, and me and Justin hang out, quite a bit when we're in the same area together. So um, Justin Harris and obviously Justin Wright was in my wedding party, and so I'm looking forward to getting back to racing with them guys weekly, and that was quite the year. Like I said, we didn't win, so hopefully we can get that monkey off our back.
For you as a driver, what's the trick to getting around Canandaigua, or is there a particular area of the track that you've gotta hit it, or is there a place of focus around the half mile there?
It's the the facility and the surface area, the surface of the racetrack, um, are awesome. When Canandaigua was on, it's really on. It's one of the better places to race at. Um, I think that the technical aspect that's going to be tough for us to figure out is, 1 week it can be slippery and 1 week it can be fast. And I don't think that the track is the same every week, which plays into the fans. They get a great show every week watching different surfaces and different kinds of races, and it's not necessarily always slippery, and kind of finessing is sometimes you got to get up on the cushion. So fine tuning that and staying on top of that, I think, is going to be um, probably the key to success, hopefully, and hopefully we're better at that than we have been there in the past. So we're looking forward to it.
Well, I know the fans have certainly been looking forward to it. There's a lot of chatter, and I know recently you guys put out a post about some new merchandise coming down the line, and it's really, it's something new, it's something fresh. The fans are certainly gravitating to it. I'm curious, what the response. I'm sure fans have already been reaching out and trying to make contact, and we haven't even gone racing yet.
Yeah, they have. The fans down in that area are great. Everywhere the fans are awesome, but seems like we don't really travel with our own car down that area. So to be able to bring the trailer down and have some merchandise, when I race for Buzz or Jeff or Johnny Coco and Paul went, we don't necessarily bring our own merchandise with us. It's kind of like we focus on the race car, and with my own stuff, I always got a tub of t-shirts, and this year my wife Natalie, she's taken over all the merchandise stuff, so she went out and got some hoodies and some ladies t-shirts and some kids t-shirts and hats. So we're gonna have all that stuff with us at the racetrack, and looking forward to interacting with the fans, whether it's during the races or after the races when we're having a beer before we drive home. It's gonna be a fun summer doing that.
You mentioned your wife. Congratulations on that. That was a big win in the off season, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I said anything different, she'd probably give me a whack in the arm. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Weddings are awesome. A lot of work, a lot of work on her shoulders, getting ready for it, and glad the work part of it's over. But we were actually watching our wedding video. We got some videos yesterday we were watching. So it was a cool weekend we got to spend and get married, and now I'm a married man. Hopefully I can race fast and win some races, or else everybody will say that we didn't because we got married.
There's always something to talk about, right? We'll be reading all about that in the hard clay, I'll bet.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Some of those guys marry their sisters. I didn't marry my sister, so
Love it. Love it. Hey, so we were chatting just before I hit record here, and I know, so we're recording this Thursday night. We're gonna put this out on Tuesday, and I know there was some racing that folks were hoping to get to do this weekend. I know Utica shifted to Sunday now. Were you guys looking at doing the Utica Fonda swing this weekend before the weather kind of took over?
yeah, we were. We weren't sold on doing Fonda yet, just because Brett's trying to really improve that place and get some clay down. And early in the year, with all the rain in the area, we were worried about the surface. So I think that Jeff had really just committed to doing Utica, which we still will do on Sunday, and looking forward to it. But I had loaded my car up on Tuesday. I had a customer car that I had to scale, so I had to get my car out of the shop. So I put it in the trailer, and I was ready to go to Canandaigua on Saturday. I was going to bring my car down to Utica Friday, and race Jeff's car, and then have my car ready to go for the practice at Land of Legends. But we're gonna have to wait a week. I don't think we're gonna make it to the practice on Wednesday. Just with being so far away, to drive down there just for that would be not cost efficient. But yeah, it's kind of like the lull in the season where we haven't been doing a lot of racing, and we're looking forward to getting back into the swing of things.
Yeah. Now I know that kind of gives you a little bit of a break. I know you've got some projects we're working on there. You talked about an expansion on the garage. Is that kind of to support some of the the business that you've been doing? I've seen some work that you've done on some tin work and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're I actually we poured concrete today, so that was luckily I've been waiting a couple days to get that done. Actually, a week since we formed it up. So the concrete truck showed up at 7 this morning. We got that all poured. I think the finishing guys just left about 20 minutes ago. So exciting that get to put an addition on. Hopefully, have some room. Obviously, it's gonna be cool to have some room to work on race cars in there, but a lot of it's just storage and just I need a bigger shop in general on my house. So but yeah, it's gonna leave some room to do more things in the future for sure.
Nice. Uh, One of the drivers that I've talked to in the off season here, Dalton Slack, he's going to be coming down Saturday nights as well, and I got to tell you, and I'm probably going to tell you something that is not going to be a surprise to you, but was really impressed with Dalton. Well spoken, really went into some really cool detail about his race and that recent race down at Port Royal that he really did well. I know he wanted a better finish out of it, but really ran well. But just talk, I know Dalton well, and just kind of talk about both of you coming on Saturday nights. It's two really great additions to our field.
Yeah, and Dalton's got a huge future ahead of him in the racing game, and his dad and granddad, they've done really really smart, to get him into racing. The way they did it with getting drivers that are proven, and Matt and Tim Fuller and Billy Dunn, and the list goes on and on and on who they've had drive their race cars. So having to get to work with all those guys that have won 1,000 or so races combined, and now Dalton's in the seat. So they've got good notes and good people to lean on. So Dalton's going to be a very good race car driver, and is right now. We both kind of went through the same adversity last year with the whole tire test deal, and that kind of run us away and into better things down the road. Coming to Land of Legends on Saturday nights is, I think, hopefully going to be better for my career going forward. Hopefully it'll get us to the level where we can compete every time against Matt Shepard. I feel like sometimes I've got him, and then I feel like I'm on the right track, and then the next thing he wires off 5 wins. So hopefully racing a big block more often will get us to the next level, and obviously it's going to make Dalton that much better of a race car driver coming down the road every Saturday. And I think he's going to go to Ranceville on Friday night. So he's going to be racing against a lot of good cars. Yeah, at Ranceville, the field's pretty tough there too. Canandaigua, obviously, I think has one of the toughest fields, if not the toughest field to race against. So that's going to make him better and better. And, he's still young. So got a very bright future ahead of him.
You talk about, kind of what you're hoping to get out of, coming to Canandaigua on Saturdays. I'm just curious, if is there anything that comes to mind when you look back? Let's say we get to end of November, December, and you look back on 2024, what is it that in your mind will say, okay, that decision to go to Canandaigua on Saturdays was a success? Is it, is it numbers? Is it, just, 'cause, I know, you know, I know you know Dalton well, and, just, kind of talk about, both of you coming on Saturday nights. I'm just curious, if is there anything that comes to mind when you look back, let's say we get to end of November, December, and you look back on 2024, what is it that in your mind will say, okay, that decision to go to Canandaigua on Saturdays was a success? Is it, hitting on something? What would that look like for you to say that was a successful decision?
For the most part, as long as we have fun every Saturday night, that's a big goal for obviously keeping my crew involved in it and wanting to go down the road with me. I've got some pretty devoted guys that no matter what decision we make, they always stick by my side. So hopefully this will be the right one, and I'll prove to them that we were smart doing it. I'm not sure about wins or championships. Obviously, it's April. We haven't raced yet. We could go out and be a 10th place car and be fighting for top fives, and that would be a good thing at the end of the year. If we start off in 10th and we finish in fifth, that's a good year. So we want to improve. Obviously, I'd like to sit here and say, we'd like to race for a championship. We'd like to race for wins, but the field there is tough. I'm not gonna count my chickens before they hatch. We're racing against some tough competition. Some good race car drivers, a lot of people with the good equipment, and so it's going to be tough. But I don't know. I don't ultimately have a goal right now that in December I can look at and say we accomplished. Um, but I'm thinking that for the grand scheme of things to try and be able to compete for a Super Dirt Series title and be better in a big block and be better at the series races at Canandaigua, I think that this is the right decision right now.
Talking about some of the series races. So the next Super Dirt Series race is at a place that I'm sure you're looking forward to going back to. You had an incredible year at Weedsport last year.
Yeah, yeah, we figured that place out this year. Um, but the funny thing about racing is, as that winter comes along and everybody gets to work, even us, we don't go back with the same car. We get new cars over the winter and rebuild things. Um, Racing's tricky, like that fine line that we have to make our car really good. We could go there and run 10th. Um, Obviously last year the first race we were really good. I think there was no cautions and we had lapped up into the top five at some point, and that was a car that I'd like to bring back to Weedsport. And obviously that was when the whole tire debacle was going on, so everybody kind of blamed that and said that we were doing it at Weedsport and blah 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 or whatever the excuses they had were. So then the
Sure.
next time we went to Weedsport, we had won again, and that car was just as good. So um, it's going to be tough to replicate that success again. Obviously, we've got a pretty stout notebook, and I think that we've got very smart people. Obviously, the guys up in Old Ford scaling the car, they don't miss a beat, and they get the thing spot on every time we go to the racetrack. So shouldn't be a problem. But I'm looking forward to Weedsport in May. I wish we were going there, sooner. It seems like it's an eons away from now, but we'll I'm sure it'll come here before you know it.
Another race I wanted to ask you about, and it's even a little further away, but beginning of June, you guys head down to Selinsgrove. Curious on any experience you've had there, and this is a fairly new addition to the Super Dirt Series schedule, but just curious your thoughts on heading to Selinsgrove in June.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm glad that the guys with the Super Dirt Series have got some new tracks for us to go to. Sealands Grove is pretty historic. Obviously, they've done a lot of sprint car racing. They used to have the icebreaker in March, and I went down as a fan to a couple of them and raced a few of them actually with Jeff on American Racers. I don't think I've ever raced there on Hoosiers, which will be a little bit of an adaptation, but looking forward to it. I mean, it's cool that we get to go to new racetracks and new good racetracks. They can add 15 different new racetracks to the schedule, but it's tough to find good ones. So this is a good one that we're going to. Hopefully, the track's good Sealands Grove, because I think we've seen it where it's been pretty hammered down and the cushion's been in the middle of the racetrack. But I think it should be good. It should be a good show for the fans, and I think we've had some decent success there. I don't think I've ever won, but maybe this will be the first time.
Hey, that would be great, man. That'd be a way to start the season off without a doubt. Um, Hey, I is there anything else? Maybe we can give a shout out to the sponsors here before we get you out of here. I want to make sure I get opportunity for you to do that.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for having me on. I mentioned Wayne and my dad for getting the motor program started out for our big block. And, without Wayne at S&W Service Center, I wouldn't be in any ride that I have, I don't think. And I wouldn't be at where I'm at with my racing career. So I got to thank him. Marin Drywall, Roger, come on, a couple years ago, and he's been great. Becker Brothers Trucking, Optional Hose and Hydraulics, Integra Shocks, all our big product sponsors, VP, IBOC. There's just so many great sponsors, behind our team, and hopefully we can represent them well down the road and show everybody that we got a pretty good program going on.
Well, they're gonna get a good chance to get a look at it here. Hopefully, again, we've got opening night Saturday, April 27th at Land of Legends Raceway. Stay tuned to socials. You know how spring weather is, and as I often joke, we get the last week of April in about once every 7 years. So we'll see. But the interesting part though is even though we've really struggled with the last date in April, we almost always get the first date in May in. So it's kind of that silver lining. Even if we lose that late April show, it for some reason we always seem to be able to come back on that first weekend of May. So we'll see how that works out. But again, you can catch Matt in competition every Saturday live, Land of Legends TV. We've talked about it till we're blue in the face. Free to watch live on Saturday nights. We have followed the Clinton Jeffrey, Glenn Steyer's model of free viewing. Our viewership has exploded, and I expect that will continue to do so when we are attracting quality drivers like Matt and Dalton and adding that to our already impressive field of modifieds at Land of Legends. So Matt, we're looking forward to having you a part of the program, and can't wait to see you out at the track.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for having me on, and I'm looking forward to it too. I'm looking forward to seeing all the fans, and make sure you bring a friend to the racetrack. That's the biggest thing to keep this deal going, and without the fans, we couldn't do it.
No doubt about it, man. Appreciate the time as always, and again, appreciate everybody tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to us on the Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, and we also post the audio on Apple Podcast and Google Podcasts, so you've got plenty of ways to tune in. No excuse to say, oh, I didn't hear the Matt Williamson interview. You've got all those different ways to catch it and tune in. So appreciate everybody listening, and we'll see you on the next episode a little bit later this week.
Land of Legends Raceway fans, tune in each and every week of the racing season to Where Legends Are Made, a podcast dedicated to covering the drama, excitement, and hear from the drivers from your favorite dirt track. Stephen Ovens and Brad Ovens walk you through the week that was Where Legends Are Made. Subscribe on Apple or Google Podcasts.